Hello guys, Ashley here, also with the Italy Fans, back with another video, and today I decided that I'm going to be ranking Ralph Macchio's 80s movies. I know I did a video about this with ranking everything, his movies, and his TV show appearances, but I've had time to watch everything that he's been in, things I can get access to, basically, so I thought I'd just start with his 80s movies first, because they're easier to talk about to start there. There are two 80s movies that he was in that I did watch, but he really didn't have big roles in them, so it kind of didn't make any sense to include him in the ranking because he didn't really do anything in the film. So the films that I do have on the list are the 9 films that I did see him in. So I'm going to rank them from worst to best based off of my opinion, and I'll do the same thing with his 90s movies and his mid-2000s, and then I will rank his guest star appearances. So if you're patient for that. But let's get the ranking list started. Coming in number 9 for me as his absolutely worst 80s film is Karate Kid 3. I've already expressed this for as much as I can. I despise this movie on every level that you can think of. It is a terrible follow-up from the second film. It's awful, it's miswritten, it was such a terrible, underwhelming way to send off the franchise, in my opinion, to the point that they had to reboot it with another movie that Ralph Macchio was not in because he was older. And I definitely feel like it was just getting like, why did he keep playing a teenager? It was just like, is he ever going to get older in this franchise? Like, I honestly feel like when Ralph Macchio came back and he was a little bit older, because when he got the role in '84, I think he was like 20 or 21, so he looked like a baby. And the Karate Kid 3, that came out in 1989. He'd already been married. He didn't have kids yet, but he's already been married. He looks a little older. He's 27 years old now. It's like, how much longer do you think this guy can play a teenager without people thinking like he looks a little bit older? And he did. I feel like this movie should have took place like at least 5 years into the future. But I understand that they wanted to pick it up after the 2, but I feel like they should have just picked it up a few years into Daniel's life, in my opinion. But Karate Kid 3 is absolutely the worst film. I don't recommend it. Me personally, I feel like if you do watch the first 2, just avoid 3, in my opinion. So yeah, that's how I feel about Karate Kid 3. It's just very underwhelming. Coming in number 8 is Distant Thunder. This movie is so boring. I tried to watch this movie 3 times, and whenever I tried, I can never sit through it. I can never follow it. I'm always extremely bored with the story. The only reason why I gave it a third chance was because the dude said that he thinks it's one of Ralph Macchio's underrated performances. His performance wasn't bad in this film. I think he gave what the script wanted him to give. He did what the script wanted. You know, him playing a very confused boy who just came out of high school trying to build a relationship with his father. It wasn't like he didn't know who his dad was. He knew who his dad was. It was just when he went back into the war, he never saw him after that. And the last time he saw him was when he was a kid. So I just feel like this movie just failed to touch me emotionally. Like, I feel like they were trying really hard to give you the emotion that they wanted, and I just didn't feel it on screen. I don't feel like Ralph Macchio and the actor that played his dad had any real convincing chemistry to make you feel the emotion. I just really didn't care. His performance wasn't bad, but this movie really bored me. I feel like to watch a movie 3 times and to not care about it, I think that tells you enough about how boring it is. And this movie definitely really bored me. So, sorry. To anyone who might like this film, me personally wasn't a fan. Coming in number 7 for me is the Three Wishes of Billy. This is a TV movie that he did. It's basically about he plays a kid named Billy, and he has a aging sickness, and he doesn't die at the end of the movie. At the end of the movie, he doesn't die or anything, but the whole movie is like a journey of us seeing him going through like this fast journey of him becoming an old man, even though I guess he's like a teenager. This movie was okay. I didn't buy the romance between him and the girl. I felt like the romance was just him trying to save her because she was on the streets and doing what she needed to do to survive. I just didn't buy the romance. This movie was just okay. There's not much to take away from it. I think, like again, I think Ralph Macchio did what he was told with his performance, playing a very vulnerable little boy who is just something unfair is just happening to him. Is very tragic. Again, it's an okay film. I don't think it's anything I'll ever watch again, but it isn't anything terrible. His performance wasn't bad in it. Or anything. You can find the movie on YouTube, the whole full movie. It might look a little blurry because it's dated, because the movie came out in the 80s, so it might look a little dated, but again, not a really bad film. Coming in at number 6 is Up the Academy. I thought this movie was very funny. I definitely think that he did what he was told by playing like this rich, snotty little kid. It's crazy that he was like 18 in this film, but he looks 12. He looks 10. Like, he looks really young. He's like mouthy, he's a brat, he's like sleazy, a rich kid. He doesn't think he belongs there because he thinks he's above everyone. It's a very funny movie. I definitely think he shined out of everyone in the movie. The movie is very chaotic. The plot spins everywhere. It wasn't a bad film, just a very chaotic movie. A movie that really doesn't have a strong plot. I feel like if you want to watch it, I feel like you're probably just watching it for the chaoticness and the comedy. And I feel like Ralph Macchio definitely did like a great job playing this role. So it's a movie that I can go back and watch. Good number 5 is Teachers. I actually liked him in this movie. Now the movie itself, the storyline of it, it's okay. It's basically about like this teacher trying to motivate kids to be in school and take school seriously, and he plays a kid, Eddie, who doesn't get any good grades. He goes to detention. He's always skipping school. He reads at a 3rd grade level. I definitely understood what they were going with, but I felt like if the movie focused more on him trying to help Eddie instead of focusing on like what teachers do and what faculty, what goes on in school with teachers and lesson planning, things like that. No one cares about that boring stuff. I feel like they should focus a little bit more on him trying to help Eddie. And I wish we would have gotten to see a little bit more of Eddie's home life in this film. We do know that his parents are divorced, and we do know that they are way more occupied in their marriage than they are with how he's doing in school. And I definitely feel like a lot of the things that he was doing was to just get attention because of his parents getting a divorce. So yeah, but other than that, I did like him as Eddie. He was charismatic. He was like a bad boy, and he didn't care about his grades. He was doing something bad. But you know, at the end of the movie, he did decide to shape it up and decide to care more about his grades. So not mad about that. But I wish they would have focused on it being about him instead of being about what teachers and principals do and all that. Like, who cares about that? Coming in number 4 is Crossroads. Sorry. I absolutely love this film. It's so good. I actually like it. You know, learning about the blues and things like that. It's always a music genre that I never like hear people talk about much. Or like even when you're in school, it's not really a music topic that a lot of the music teachers go over. It was interesting seeing that. It was interesting seeing like everything. I like the movie a lot. It's like very adventurous. It's fun. It's funny. I definitely think Ralph Macchio, I definitely did like his performance in this movie. You know, him being like, I guess it was kind of like, on some extent, kind of felt like he was a white kid and he's interested in the blues, which is a black man music. So that was very interesting. I did like the dynamic between him and Willie, the guy that played Tim. They had a good dynamic. I didn't care for the relationship with the girl. I thought that romantic relationship was forced. And yet again, I never bought into it. They had no chemistry. And I also just felt like he was interested in her because she was dealing with some, I guess they alluded to like it, there was being like some underlying sexual abuse going on in her house with her stepfather. They didn't say it, but I feel like they alluded to it. So I think that's probably why he liked her so much, because he wanted to save her, which is just like, oh my god. Like, we know Ralph Macchio's a nice guy. He's like the Superman, but you have to make all his relationships with him trying to save somebody. Ugh, no, like, he actually had like chemistry with someone. They had no chemistry. But other than that, I really did like the movie. The music, all of it, I did like the atmosphere. I loved his role in here, and it's definitely one of his movies that I go to and watch whenever. Um, Coming in number 3 is Karate Kid 2. I absolutely love Karate Kid 2. My opinion on this movie has changed. And when I first watched it, I thought it was just a very underwhelming sequel. But when I went back and watched it a couple of times, I just felt like I was way too harsh on it. It is a really beautiful sequel. I would say a majority of the sequels that I have seen, it is honestly one of the most decent and beautifully made sequels. It actually capitalizes on the story of Daniel and Miss Miyagi very, very well, and very, very in a way that's perfect. The Miss Miyagi and Daniel stuff in the sequel is absolutely perfect. It's the bread and butter of the franchise. Everything with Daniel and Kimiko honestly just stole the show for me. I absolutely loved everything with Daniel and Kimiko in this movie. I think that's who Daniel should have ended up with. I feel like when Cobra Kai came back, they should have put Daniel right back with Kimiko. And like I said, the best scene in the whole film is with him as Miyagi by the river. That scene will forever be captivated in my heart. It's absolutely a very beautifully directed scene. It's absolutely perfect. The soundtrack, everything in the sequel is absolutely great. I love it. I love the sequel. Way too harsh on it, but now I changed that rapidly. It's honestly a very beautifully made sequel, in my opinion. So coming in at number 2 is Karate Kid 1984. I absolutely love Karate Kid 1984. It's a very masterpiece. In my opinion, it's a masterpiece of a film. It is a simply underdog story. You can jig with the characters. You can get behind how everything is just so new and fresh for Daniel. His relationship with Allie was very cute, but yet very basic, in my opinion. Him and Elizabeth Shue did have chemistry. I just absolutely love this movie. I've already went on so many rants about it so many times. So if you want to hear me dive deep more about it, watch the videos on my channel. But personally, I definitely love Karate Kid 1984. It's a really good underdog story, and I will forever love this film. Coming number 1 for me as his best 80s film is The Outsiders. I think this is absolutely Ralph Macchio's best performance, in my opinion. He played Johnny so well, making Johnny absolutely vulnerable, and just making him a kid that everyone just feels extremely bad for. I absolutely felt for Johnny. I think him and what's his friend name? Oh my gosh, that's his name. Hold on, let me look it up. Ponyboy. Him and Ponyboy, I absolutely love their friendship. I would say it was like an undermining of like, see it like it was like gay a little bit. Me personally, just because two guys are friends and they're there for each other doesn't mean there's like any romantic feelings. Him and Ponyboy cared about each other. They were true friends. I absolutely love that. Johnny's death will forever to this day hurt my heart and soul. That's why it's so hard for me to go back and watch The Outsiders, because I can't not watch him without knowing that Johnny, his death is coming, and like it's just so devastating. Like the scene where he died will forever hurt me. I can't talk about it because if I literally talk about it, I would break down in tears. But I absolutely love Johnny. I absolutely love Ralph Macchio in this film. It's honestly a really good movie in my opinion. I think The Outsiders is a very masterpiece of a film. It's a very simple story that you're going to be, it's easy to follow and easy to understand. The casting for that movie is absolutely perfect. I feel like the cast is a cast that holds up to this day. I absolutely love The Outsiders. Stay gold, everybody. Stay gold. But yeah, that's my ranking from worst to best for his films. Let me know what your ranking is for his 80s films, and I'll see you guys next time.